Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of the Drive Home Podcast. I'm your host, and I'm actually not that tired right now, which will come back to bite me later, but it's not later yet, so I'll be fine. But that's besides the point. Let's drive this podcast home. I don't know if anyone can tell, but I'm doing a weird thing where I spin my finger in a circle, like every time I say that. I have no idea why. I think I started doing it at some point. I just never stopped. I think it's to help me think, like it's a spinning wheel. Like, I don't know. I work till 8 tonight, and I don't know if I'm just excited for something or I'm just crazy insane, but I'm not that tired. I had to take my brother to work this morning, so I had to wake up really early, which kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad. And then, I don't know, later in the day, I picked him up, took him home, and then basically left for work after that. Which, at least for me, it's like, I don't want to be his babysitter. Funny thing is, I think he knows about the podcast by now. Because a while ago I mentioned I informed some of my friends about it, but they just kind of, they subscribed, but that was it, which is nice. Good for them. I don't expect any of them to ever listen to any of my stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot's been going on recently, I guess. It's starting to feel a little bit more like spring. When I took my brother to work this morning, my car wasn't freezing cold, and being outside didn't make me want to jump into a full-on snowsuit with whatever else on, I guess. So that's good. Been making plans with some friends for my friend's birthday. We're celebrating it in a couple days, on a Thursday, and right around the same time, Monster Hunter is going to come out, or Monster Hunter Wilds, which, if I haven't stated this enough, I'll state it again. Can't wait for that game to come out. Cannot wait. So excited. Like, honestly, it's going to be the new thing I play all the time for a while. Like, Monster Hunter in itself is a game I've been able to play a lot of. Like, so with Monster Hunter, so the only one I've really given any amount of time to, Monster Hunter World, I guess I've played Monster Hunter now, but that's sort of like I wouldn't really count it. It's a mobile game, but it's not the same. Because it's a mobile game. But something, so I play World a whole lot, or well, I used to. I'd have big things where I'd basically play nothing but Monster Hunter World, or I'd at least log on and use like the daily tickets I had accrued, because so after I beat the main story, the main story base game, I progressed I didn't start up Iceborne. Is that what it's called? I think it's it's Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And so I didn't start that one up instantly, even though I owned it. I actually spent a whole lot of time just grinding out the different monsters and monster parts for specific weapons and armor sets that I wanted. And I'd either listen to a podcast or watch a video or do something while doing that, because you can only do that for so long without going crazy. But I guess for me, I'm kind of a big fan of games with grinds in them. Like, being able to do a similar thing repeatedly for a long time. Something I'm interested in, I guess. I mean, I play games like Warframe and Monster Hunter, so... I mean, I play other games, and I guess No Man's Sky is kind of on that level. Speaking of, I need to start playing The Expedition. I haven't yet, but I've been meaning to. I should probably do as much as I can before Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, because that's going to be a real doozy. Anyway, I'm super excited for Monster Hunter Wild. I'm so excited. I can use so many more weapons now. Like, I can kind of use the insect glaive. And like I was vaguely able to use it in Monster Hunter World, but I never really did because a lot of the monsters were big enough so their attacks would reach into the sky if they wanted to. So that kind of felt, I mean, at least in the demo, the monsters seemed a lot smaller. Really, I'm a lot more focused on ground-based attacks. And then I don't know why, but I feel like I can't use the hammer as well. And I think it's probably has something to do with the clutch claw. So I don't know what games it's not in, but in Monster Hunter World, they added this in at some point. There's an item called it's not really an item, it's like a key feature of gameplay. Something called the clutch claw. You can use it, it's basically the thing that lets you grapple to stuff. Long story short, you can do specific things with it with different weapons. And at least in Monster Hunter World. So the weapons I know that you can do stuff with, like, or at least from what I remember. So weapons will have like a slinger burst. They can have a slinger burst type effect. And it's not for burst ammo. It's a specific thing in Monster Hunter World where the ammo changes what it does if you do certain actions with your weapons before shooting it. It's sort of like a combo finisher or extender, or depending on what your weapon does, whatever. And I don't think all weapons have access to it, but... So, the best example for this is the Sword and Shield. The Sword and Shield weapon in Monster Hunter World had a unique effect where it could instantly have any slinger ammo be a burst type, in a sense, or use its burst type. All you had to do was aim down your sights or whatever with the left trigger or whatever, and then and I'm just going to use console because I only play on console, and so I don't understand. And then click down on the right stick, and that activates Slinger Burst. And you'll be in that mode until your sword and shield is sheathed, I believe. And basically, any Slinger ammo you fire will have a different effect. So, generally, they each already do their own thing. Like the fire ones will kind of, like the torch ones will kind of catch them on fire. And I don't know what all of them do. I don't know if all of them have bursts. I think it's the ones that monsters drop, mostly. So, in Monster Hunter World, monsters drop 3 types of ammos. They drop Bomb Pod, or I guess 4 once you get far enough. So they drop Dragon Pods, which mostly the more endgame bosses will drop, so don't worry about those. And then they drop the 3 other types. Different monsters will drop different types, I believe. So they can drop the piercing type, they can drop the bomb type or explode type, I forget. And then there's another type they can drop. Okay, well now I can't remember. Was that it? Are those the only three? I said there was another one. It could be a bludgeoning type. This doesn't sound right. Oh, right, thorn type. Right, yeah. So thorn type has a very, I guess, generic effect. What it does is when you shoot a monster with it. So normally what you do is you shoot a monster with. So these things all do unique things on their own. The bomb type one, it has 3 shots. Actually, I guess they all have about the same amount. Anyway, when you shoot any of these, so when you shoot the bomb pod, it will hit the target and explode normally, I guess. When you burst fire the bomb pod, it will still only use 1 ammo per shot, by the way. It doesn't change the amount shot. It's just called slinger burst. So when you shoot the bomb pod, it will essentially shoot, point blank, deal damage. Then after a short delay, it will explode in a small area of effect to deal more damage. Piercing pods, normally when you fire them, they'll pierce through the monster just a little bit, hitting a couple extra times, depending on the length of the monster and where and what direction you're shooting it from. Like a good example, Rathalos. If you shoot the Rathalos through the side, it's not going to tick that many times. But if you shoot the Rathalos head on, the Rathalos is fairly long and its tail is technically something you can't hit. So you will hit it more. Now, Slinger Burst piercing pods are pretty good, honestly, in my opinion. It essentially fires an actual burst of piercing pods. It only consumes 1 ammo, but it launches a bunch in sort of like a shotgun spread. It doesn't have huge range, but it hits a lot if you're really close to your target. It's really good on the Great Jagras, and probably the Rathalos as well. I wouldn't recommend it on the smaller monsters like the Kuluyaku. Might work on the Puke, but eh. Not that any of these are necessarily bad in any way, but there are basically ones that are better. Now, so the Thorn pod is sort of the most unique pod, and they have a similar. They have a similar thing. I believe it's called a Bramble Pod or something in Monster Hunter Wilds. It's essentially the same thing. So, the Thorn Pod, what it does is when you hit something with it, it will stick to that part that you hit normally. Right? And you shoot 1 or 2 pods. Well, you shoot 1 pod, and you might only have 2 ammo for it, honestly. And then if you hit that spot again with other attacks, probably not your pod attacks, but use your weapon. Either shoot that spot with a gun or one of the guns, or melee it or something. Deal damage to that spot. It will essentially double. Well, I don't know if double is the right word. I don't know the math behind it. But it deals another tick of damage to that spot on the monster a couple of times, and then it'll expire, basically. So it'll be stuck on the monster for a while. I think the only way for the monster to get it off without you damaging that spot is some kind of... It might do it if it does a form change, or an aura boost. But I'm more or less thinking, so it'll fall off, obviously, if you shoot it onto the tail, and then you sever the tail, it won't really be applied anymore. And then, if the monster runs away successfully, basically, which they pretty much always all do, so. And then, the Slinger Burst is sort of similar. So, it's similar to the piercing burst as well, where so you'll fire a couple at once, very short range. But good side is if you hit with it, you'll get a couple of those things hit onto your enemy monster, right? So if you aim for so a good example or a good way to use this is, so I believe the Big Bang attack, which is basically just secondary attack spam with the hammer, lets you do Slinger Burst. So a relatively good combo, and I could be wrong, honestly. I'm just remembering it that way. Or maybe it's right after you do a charged slam, like standing still slam. I don't know. There's a couple things you can do with the clutch claw. This isn't really necessarily, but anyway, hitting. So if you hit the monster in the face with a burst of thorn pods, and then happen to hit the hammer on the head of the monster, it will deal a lot of damage for multiple reasons. Mostly because heads are pretty much always weak spots for monsters in some way. Either you're hitting their horns, or you're hitting their teeth, or you're hitting something in their face. So, you know. So it'll deal quite a bit of damage. Honestly, kind of forget how to. I know you can activate burst with the hammer, I just forget how. So I believe after the charged slashes, most of them. I don't think you can do it after the very last one. But after any of the charged, after the normal or the non, after a use of the non-true charged slash, you should be able to use Slinger Burst. And Slinger Burst is just left trigger after a combo while you have Slinger ammo applicable. For the dual blades, you can, after you do it, I believe, the two attack buttons combo. It's like a blade dance or demon flurry or something. I forget. It's one of those two. It's or during most, or I think it's actually during, while you're in the middle of your like sort of attack phase, you use it as a dodge actually. So the direction you aim in is the direction you kind of launch yourself in, and so you'll fire the slinger pods in the opposite direction, I believe, which is sort of different. But so it doesn't always work, but you can gather up a bunch of stone and use it to dodge. So since stones have a longer life force. Or, well, you get like 20 stone when you pick one up. Anyway. Let's see. So I don't think it's just the monster ones that do it. I believe the other ones do it. I just don't remember, and I don't end up using those ones too often because the monster will end up dropping some pods at some point. I know the charged blade can do it, because I use the charged blade a lot. So you can use that after you use a Y attack with in axe form. If you use one of the non-file consuming attacks in axe form of the charge blade, right after one of those, you can hit left trigger or whatever your button would be. In World, I have no idea. I don't think it carried over at all. So think I did a little bit of an oopsie. I mean, it's fine, but I shut off my car before I put it in park. Anyway, I got home, and that's the end of my explanation, because I either don't use the other weapons, or didn't use them enough, or just can't think of it. And of course, as I said, the sword and shield, you just aim, and then you click down on the right stick. At least on consoles. And then you can fire it with right trigger, of course. Anyway, I want to go inside. I thought I wasn't tired, but doing all that talking made me a little bit tired. So I want to go inside. Anyway, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Drive Home Podcast. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, you don't have to. And everyone, I hope you have a great next 24 hours. See ya.